Hello again, you sick, twisted weather freaks, and welcome to a special edition of This Week in Weather. It's Sunday night, about 11:15 or so. We're doing the video here. I just finished issuing the first guest map to my clients about Sunday afternoon, 6 p.m. and then 7 p.m. and then putting on the Facebook page with some other modifications here. And I wanted to discuss the reasoning and the data and how I see this thing developing here. So we'll talk about this event very nicely. Obviously, this is going to be a southern mid-Atlantic snowstorm, that is to say, from the Pennsylvania border, Maryland border southward, southern New Jersey perhaps. The regional snow index values for the southern region, it's because it is going to snow in Kentucky and Tennessee and North Carolina and Virginia, which counts as the southern region, even though I happen to think Virginia is a mid-Atlantic state. But that's the way they do it at the Climate Prediction Center. So as a result, it's a high-end Category 3, a value about 10. For Nessa's value, which is the northeast snowstorm, which goes from North Carolina to Maine, this is estimated about 5, and it was lower in Category 3, which is a significant snowstorm, not a crippling. So that's what's changed here in the last 24 hours. Now, in terms of the actual overall a threat of everything, let me change the color on this marker so you can see it a little better. So this here is the upper low. There's your huge block, right? Let me blow this up a little bit so we can see it a little more detail. There we go. Now this here is your blocking feature. There's a kicker coming into California and Oregon that's going to kick this system east and prevent it from coming up the coast. Now this is a Wednesday morning. You have the closed 500 low in Minnesota, and you have a strongly negatively tilted shortwave. You can see the trough axis right through here, running from Minnesota, Iowa, down to Mississippi. And that generates the low pressure in the deep south. And the air is going to be extremely cold. And you're going to get a really high snow ratio. And then, of course, what happens is this system comes in from here. Let me copy that. And you can see it comes in very nicely. And now you have your closed 500 low in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. And it should be capturing the low, but the models are having the southern low swing really far out to the east, which strikes me as being something I really am not comfortable with seeing. I think that's probably wrong. Here's the kicker still coming in. So, of course, what it does is it kicks the system to the east. And as a result, it does not come up the coast. So we can see this. This was the early morning Sunday European. Very nice snowstorm for all of Richmond. Pretty significant snow up to D.C. and then into Delmarva. You can see there. The low is right along the coast here. And then you can see what it does. It just moves straight off the coast in this direction. And as a result, the heavy snow from the early Sunday morning European does not get really into New York. It doesn't get into Connecticut or coastal New England. It does get into Long Island, at least moderate snow. And, of course, it's snowing until Thursday morning in eastern Virginia and the Delmarva, according to this particular run. Now, sometimes what happens is a lot of my weather fans out there, weather hobbyists, they have a tendency of jumping and overreacting. This was the 6Z European. Let me show you what I mean here. Now, the 6Z European, this is from Storm Vista, and you can see the dark blue here. That's 8 to 10 inches. So it's now in Richmond here. The heaviest snow is east of Richmond. And then, of course, you have a very sharp cutoff. It looks like no snow here. Very little snow, only 4 or 5 inches. The Shenandoah Valley, Southwest Virginia, D.C., that's fine. And then you have the super, super heavy snow, that purple color, 18 to 20 inches in Hampton Roads, according to this. Now, look with the heavy snow band here. This is the purple color, which is 10 to 12. Now, that was 0Z, 6 run, right? That was the 6Z01. 6 hours later, this is what the 12Z run did. It pushed it back west. See how it went back to the west? Okay, so you get these oscillations back and forth here, and we have a tendency of jumping too much into the gun. Now, and of course, the extremely heavy snow is now down to 15 to 18 inches in southeast Virginia and Hampton Roads. So, and again, the other thing is, notice the incredible snow, the gradient here. Raleigh is going to get a good snowstorm out of this if this is correct. You can see Raleigh gets really hit here. But Elizabeth City and Nags Head, they don't. It's a very tight cutoff here. Same thing maybe in Sandbridge. There's a very tight cutoff in that area. Okay. Now, the other thing that you need to do besides these snow maps is look at the actual QPF. Way too many of you weather hobbyists, weather fans out there, you're not looking at the QPF, the model precipitation. Again, let me show you what I mean. So this was the 6Z European, okay, through Thursday night. Now look at Richmond, for example, 0.9799. Just pick any landmark you want to. You can use Norfolk, you can use Charlottesville, you can use Raleigh. Raleigh 1.34, all right? And you can use Charlottesville, let's say 0. Is that 5.8? Yeah, 5.8. All right. Then the 12Z run, you can see what happens is the heaviest precip builds back towards Richmond, but the western side of it gets actually a little drier. So this is interesting. So the precip remains very strong in southeast Virginia, central North Carolina, but then you have this very tight band right here. And that's going to be interesting on the forecast trend, whether to have the band like this. So and that's because of the Arctic air. If the low is moving off the coast like that, you're only going to get so much moisture and forcing into the Arctic air. And that's going to make a very sharp line between 2 or 3 inches of snow and 8 inches. A very sharp line, very tight gradient there. That's what that's implying. All right, this was the 12Z European. Okay, and high resolution, more detail, and you can see, 14 inches Richmond, 20 inches in Newport News, and Melfa and Wallops Island, and then up into New Jersey, significant snow there, and then also good snow, decent snow for Raleigh, down to Gaston Lake and Emporia, and so on and so forth. And then you do have some snow, several inches, in the Shenandoah Valley up into D.C. So it's not a complete miss for those guys. They're just not getting the big snow. This was the 18Z European. About the same. It's a little less, but it's about the same. This is, again, now, is the heaviest snow here? It looked like you could make the case it's shifted east of Richmond, 14 inches down to 9 inches or 10 inches, 11 inches. You could make the case, but we have to see what the 0Z run is going to do. Because, again, the 0Z run might push the big snow back toward the Richmond area, okay? And we don't know. It might push the super heavy snow back towards Newport News. We have to wait and see. So don't jump the gun thinking, well, because one run has shifted it east, therefore it's going east. Yet you can't get a trend from looking at one model run. Okay, a trend requires 2 or 3 model runs, not just one. I mean, come on, folks. Let's use our brain here, right? So this here is the National Blend of Models. Well, National Weather Service puts this out, looking at all the data. They come up with a synopsis here. And this is the evening run, and early Monday morning, actually, 0Z February 17th. And it's got about 10 inches in the Richmond metro area, and then 8 to 10 inches up in the sun. This seems very reasonable. But again, one other point here, okay, this is a 10-to-1 snow ratio. All right, that's what this is. And I'm wondering if, because of the snow ratio, these numbers are a little low. Let me show you what I mean here. These are the temperatures now. They're not. Sorry, let me change that text. These are the actual temperatures from the European model for 9 a.m. Wednesday morning before the snow starts. The snow is going to be here around, according to the data, in central Virginia around 11 noon. In southwest Virginia, it's already snowing. So look at these temperatures. 22 degrees, 21 degrees in Richmond, 24 in Williamsburg, 21 in Salisbury. These are very cold temperatures for snow, which normally doesn't get that cold when it starts snowing here. So, in this part of Virginia. So this means really high snow ratios, potentially. So greater than 10-to-1. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? Look at the 8:50 temperatures. This is Wednesday night into early Thursday, late Wednesday night, during the height of the storm. Richmond is all snow, -3, 8:50. The zero line gets up into Sandbridge, but Newport News is all snow, Suffolk is all snow, Smithfield, Emporia, so these are all very cold temperatures. Now Raleigh is right on the line here, according to this. So we'll see. Now maybe if Raleigh's a little colder, they could say all snow. But not another question. We just have to wait and see. Now if we look at our ensembles, and let me show you why I don't like the GFS here right now. But perhaps by tomorrow we'll begin to see things a little more clarity. This was the European model. This says GFS, so this is wrong, okay? This is I forgot to change this here. This is the Sunday EPS. And let me show you what I mean here, valid. Okay, so here we go. This was the 6Z. Again, I didn't change that, my bad here. This is the 6Z European. There's the low on the coast. It goes very close to Hatteras and then off the coast. And you can see the black dots showing the trend. See that? That's a pretty good track for eastern and southern Virginia, Delmarva, maybe southern New Jersey. That's a pretty good track. Not perfect, but not bad. Now this is the GFS. Again, and this is the 12Z run. This is the 12Z run. And look how much further east it is. See how far? Way off the coast. And it's also low is considerably weaker. Not well, nearly well organized. Again, European GFS. You can see more, it's just a stronger system. That means more precipitation. Okay. Now, here is the 18Z Saturday GFS precip. Let me change that so you can follow precip. Okay. Now, look at the numbers here carefully. You see where the yellow band is? That is approximately 1 inch. It's like just on the coast, and then most of it's off here. Now, so Newport News are around 0.8 of an inch. Richmond is 61. Charlottesville 0.36. Raleigh 0.17. Richmond, DC is 0.32. Fredericksburg is about a ½ inch. Okay, Salisbury 0.73. Now this is brand new. It just came in on this is the new 0Z GFS Monday morning. Oh, look, the precip shield is expanding. Let's consider. Salisbury 0.73. It's up to 0.77. Richmond is up to 0.66. Charlottesville's up to 0.42. DC's up a little bit. Lynchburg's up quite a bit. And the yellow area, which here is off the coast, is now building back into southeast Virginia. So, does it mean anything? It might. Okay, look at Raleigh. 0.17 on 18Z. Here's the 0Z run. Oh, look, 0.31. Way up. So we may be seeing the east trend coming to an end and the situation stabilizing. We may be seeing that. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I'm going to wait for the 0Z European, obviously. Here are the 18, again, these are the 850 temperatures from the midday European model, shows extremely cold atmosphere. And these are the 12Z run. I didn't mean to post this here. This is wrong. This is the 12Z European model, and you can see it looks very nice, a very nice snowstorm. And I'm sticking with the 12Z European for the time being. The 18Z, I just look at it, but I don't give it any consideration. I just wait and see what the trend is and compare it to the 0Z. So I don't change my forecast based upon 6Z model runs or 18Z model runs. I really don't, unless it's a lot of overwhelming data. And there it is. Now, from midday, European had it snowing in eastern, light snow in Maryland up until midday Thursday, or Thursday morning. And then you still had heavy snow in southern New Jersey and Delaware and eastern Maryland. If we look at the 18Z GFS, again, look at the trend. Oh, it's a little stronger the low now, but it still flies off the coast. All right. And then this is the European. And 12Z here in the upper left, and the bottom right is the 18Z. 12Z here, 18Z, about the same position, Now the issue is whether or not this 500 low is going to capture it and pull it a little further north or closer to the coast. That's really what the other variable here. And again, as I showed here, I wanted to go back and make sure you saw the QPF here from 18.000 run, so I posted that earlier, so that's good. Oops. I meant to post the New Year British model, but did not get a chance to see it. And then finally here, this is the first guess map. Now, some people are going to be saying, why are you talking 12 plus here? Because I happen to think the trend is going to stop and it's going to go back north. And I don't have 12, 15, 18 inches of foot in Hampton Roads, because I think it's going to shift back to the north. Now, if I'm proven wrong, what's going to happen here is, on the first call map, this 12-inch band is getting closer to Hampton Roads and probably move to the south and east of Richmond. Okay, but right now, I'm thinking that as we get close to the event and we follow the northwest trend, there'll be more mixing in Sandbridge and Virginia Beach and Chesapeake, and then you get your heaviest snows in Richmond to Salisbury, that sort of area. That's what I think. Okay, so we'll see. And also we're going to have to see how much precipitation the model's forecasting out of this. Now I'm still thinking about an inch, but the higher snow ratio is going to give us over 12 inches. But again, we'll see what the trend is. That I could change. I could be wrong. But that's why this is the first guess map. This is just a general outline. You really should not consider it a forecast as of yet. When I go to the first call map and the last call map, those are forecasts. This is just a general outline, which is why I'm issuing it on Sunday afternoon and evening, and the storm starts on midday Wednesday. So we still have a ways to go. All right, that's the video. Not nearly as long as the last couple of ones. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll see what happens. I'll look forward to the European model when it comes out in a little bit, and the GFS ensembles. This is meteorologist DT from Weather Risk. I'll see you over on the Weather Risk Blue Sky page over on the website and over on the Facebook page.